Hey, everybody. Oh, I think the skeeters got me. Yep, skeeters. Got them skeeters. Hmm. Anywho, here we are. Figured I'd give this a try. Um, I don't feel too confident these days about going live because, it just. Hey, Tupac. The thing with YouTube is that you have to be censored, and I don't believe in censorship. And hello, Angry Stewie. Good morning. So I'm just putting this out there. This is my channel, and I'm gonna do whatever I want from here on out. Unfortunately, some of y'all added me on friends on Facebook, and I don't I don't like Trump, and I believe in Black Lives Matter, and y'all just don't like that, and I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I'm not sorry, and I shouldn't have to feel afraid to come on my channel because I don't think it's the same way as you. I'm sure this live will probably get, 30 thumbs down now that I just said I don't like Trump. Sorry. Don't like him. I don't like Joe Biden either. How about that? Politics sucks. All of them. All of them. There's not one good person. And, I think it's sad in life where we go around fighting over people who don't really care about us. It's dumb. It's dumb, dumb, dumb. So if you have me on your friends list, I'm not saying I'm liberal. I'm not saying I'm on the right. I'm on the left or the right. I don't care. I don't pick a side. So this is my channel. I own it. I post on it. And I'm not going to be afraid to talk about things. And that's what it's there for, right? It's my space. You have your space. You could talk about politics on yours. I could talk about politics on mine. It may not be yours. It may not be mine. But, just like on Facebook, we have to know when to scroll away and not say anything. You know? That's what life has to be. Yeah, you put it out there and people have a right to say what they got to say, sure. It doesn't mean they have the right to be nasty about it either, you know? So, anywho, so that's that. I am going to start using this platform for good, and that means talking about the things that matter, then that's what we're going to talk about, the things that matter. Black lives do matter. They do. They matter very much so to me. Hey, Poochie. Black lives do matter to me. They do. Because they're human beings and they're not being included currently in the current state of life, and that's wrong, and we need to do better. I'm sure, like I said, I'll get 30 thumbs down for saying so, and that's okay. I realize that, some of the people who follow me or add me on Facebook aren't the same people that I normally would talk to, but I give you guys, a time of day, you know. So that's what it is. We have the opportunity to come on here and, you know, um, talk about the things that matter and try to help one another rather than sit on here and whine about things. Um, you know, so let's do that. And you know what? If you're going to stand up for something, even if it's standing alone for something, then so be it. I don't care how many followers I lose for saying what I just said. It's the right thing. You know, it's the right thing to say that Black Lives Matter because they do matter. It's not all lives matter. It's Black Lives Matter because they're not included. We need to make it so they are included. It's not right. The way we're living isn't right. And I know I live in a different world than everybody else because I live here in New York. But I can tell you right now, Long Island has been extremely racist these days. We had a couple of kids who were protesting on the sidewalk. You don't want people protesting in the street, okay. But if they're protesting on the sidewalk, then what? You don't want that either? You know, you gotta give leeway here. But some guy ran him over. You know, that's not okay. You know, we're definitely not in a good world. Yeah, that's right, Poochie. I'm saying it like I mean it. And then that's what Wendy Williams does. But then again, the difference between me and Wendy Williams is that she comes off as an asshole, and I'm coming off because of someone who cares. You know, I I I personally have had issues with the police. No, but yet I cannot compare my story to somebody else's because that's not how this works. But I fully understand what it feels like when people don't care to like you or like your way of thinking, or they find you to be different, so they don't want to support you. I went through that my whole life as a kid. I was severely bullied as a kid because I was different. You know, I grew up in a town where um was extremely multicultural, and but it was multicultural to the point where, you know, there weren't a lot of people who were white living there. I lived in a town where it was, you know, predominantly black and Hispanic and things like that. And I found that those people were my friends, but the kids who were my own color, they were not very happy about that. They didn't like it. They didn't want me being like that. They didn't want me being friends with those kids, so I got picked on for that. Well, I mean, my mom also, you know, had to buy Oshkosh Bagosh, which isn't really, oh my gosh, it's cute. It's really like, bleh, you know? You know what I'm saying? So, oh, all right, Heather, no problem. It'd be nice if we got more people in here because this is the first time in a while, and I just want to see where this goes. And I'm sure, like I said, I'm going to get a million bazillion thumbs down because I don't think the same as everybody else. I just don't. And I don't want to feel like I can't come on here and use my platform. Well, that's okay. That's not your fault. I don't want to feel like I can't come on here and use my platform for something good because there's a lot of ignorance here. You know, you know, we need to fix things. You know, we're all sitting here. Like I said, I don't like Trump, but I don't like Joe Biden either. I don't like Trump, but I don't like Governor Cuomo either. I don't like any of these people because we have a two-party system that is broken. It's broken. How are we down to this? You know, here, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the election. Let's talk about how we have Trump and we have Joe Biden. We got two people who really, you know, it's again, we're back to this again with the war of, you know, the lesser of the two evils. You know, last election, I didn't choose a side. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry to the Democrats. I'm sorry. I just couldn't vote for Hillary, and I just can't. I mean, that's where we're at. You know, I just can't. But I voted for somebody who was an independent, who was my friend, and you know, that's life. You know, I just couldn't do that. And I've actually gotten more hate from the Democrats because I just could not, you know, put my I couldn't put my bets on that pony. Sorry. I just couldn't do it. You know, she was everything that I just am not. And I understand you got to do that. You got to, the Democrats needed that person to move forward so it could beat the other one, and then here we are. But then we got everybody here fighting over two people who have bazillions of dollars. They're richer than anybody here. They don't care. They don't care about us. Do you really think that this guy cares about us? Do you think she cares about us? No. Why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep fighting about these people who are obviously on a power trip? Uh, they don't care. They just don't care. We're fighting about two people who don't care about us. You can come on here. In fact, I'd like to hear from somebody who does support Trump. I want to know how he cares about us because it's quite obvious he does not. It's quite obvious Joe Biden doesn't really care about us. It's all about, a face. They need to, hello, Size Studios. It's all about, a front. That's what it is. It's about a front, you know. But the thing is, they say you got to vote or you can't complain. See, that's another thing. See, that's the thing is you can't, if you don't vote, you can't complain. here we are. We're at a point where we again have two sides that suck. We need more choices. Can you imagine this? We live in a country with how many people? Millions and billions of people, and we come down to this. And the reason I'm coming on here and saying these things is because some lovely folks here on YouTube have added me as their friends on Facebook, and I really don't want that anymore. Please don't. If you're on YouTube, please don't send me a friend request. I have a Miss Kelly fan page, which is all kinds of fun posts, and you can follow me there simply because, I may not be, I may be your cup of tea here on YouTube, but on Facebook, I'm a totally different story. And, hey, Mrs. Green Thumb, I am doing well. So, like I said, please do not add me on your friends list on Facebook because I just, like I said, I don't like the left and I don't like the right. When we're talking about, what's going on here with the corona and everything like that, do I give Cuomo some praise here because I live here in New York? Some. Because there are some things he did right, and then there's some things he does wrong. But, at the end of the day, before and after corona, he's still an idiot. Okay? I don't take sides. They both suck. Cuomo, I've sat here and told y'all some things about Cuomo that I don't like. I don't like that he's taken the old hospital grounds and selling them off to the highest bidder when we have handicapped people who need housing, which is what that grounds was for. Kings Park Hospital, that one's not currently up for sale, but we have another hospital ground that he's in my hometown. My hometown is, a very, like I said, it's a multicultural town, but a lot of companies don't want to hire the people in hi Poochie, Poochie's in the house, Sunny Power. So my hometown, where I live is a very multicultural town. But a lot of the companies that come in there don't want to hire the people from that town. So Cuomo is looking to take this property and put these luxury townhomes, which nobody's going to want to buy because they're expensive for one, and the town isn't. I mean, I love my hometown more than where I live now because it seems like towns that are more like that in a multicultural setting, where people are lower income and yay, happy Pride Month. Yes, we will talk about that too. See, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to talk about the things that matter. We're going to have, game night at nighttime. Me, Jamie, and the other Sunnies are going to do game night. But daytime, a while ago, I was doing lives where we talked about things in the news. And, I'm going to go back to that because these are the things that matter. Talking about, politics. I know everyone says that ruins your channel, but I am not biased. I don't take sides. So if I'm talking about politics, I don't like Trump. I don't like Cuomo. I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. I don't like any of these people because they don't care about us. None of these people care about us. They just don't. Like I said, people from here added me on their friends list. And, just because you think that I say I don't like this, this, and this, doesn't mean I like this, this, and this either. They all suck. But why do we fight about people who don't care about us? We need to, we need to hold these people accountable too. So in regards to Corona, okay, because I live here in New York, I live in the worst affected area of Long Island here, so there were a lot of mistakes. Yeah, we were number one at the very beginning of all that, of all this mess. But now we're number one at being, not number one anymore, which is great. But how long does that last? So if we want to talk about that, I'll gladly talk about that. So when all this happened, we had issues. There's a lot of states out there, such as Florida, that do not want New Yorkers to come visit there. They don't want us there. If we come there, we have to quarantine in a hotel room for 14 days and, this, and that. We have to submit, once we get to the airport, whatever airport in Florida, they'll look at us and, they'll let you know this is what you got to do, temperature checks and all that stuff. Okay. But, you know, so I want to lay that on the line because that's where we had a mistake here in New York. We had a mistake that made us New Yorkers look really bad. When this went down, New York City, they started getting it really bad. New Rochelle, they got it really bad. Okay. But the problem is we weren't stopping. We really didn't put a stop to people from New York City from going to other places. We have the people, you can't blame the commuters going to and from work. They have to go to, make their monies. But I'm talking about the people who felt that they just could not quarantine in their townhomes in New York City, and, they decided to come out to the Hamptons. Some people who were doing that may have owned a property there. Some of them may not have owned a property there. But the Hamptons is an area of Long Island where it's a very quiet and dainty town, and they don't have a heck of a lot of resources like New York City does, or maybe my area of Long Island does. But see, that's the thing, is that, but then again, they have, in order to get to the Hamptons from New York City, that's about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive, or on the train. They had to commute all the way there, just like we have people commuting to the city to go to and from work, which, is no good, but, they have to make their money. Jobs are jobs. But, so that's where we had a problem. I mean, we had New York City folks or other New Yorkers going to other parts of the country to get away, like Florida, Pennsylvania. I know Pennsylvania was crying because Cuomo was, allowing, so the governor of Pennsylvania was crying because Cuomo was allowing people to get onto what do you call it, a Greyhound bus, and just get there, and whether they, that's a mess. There's people who have a right to be angry. They have a right to be angry. I mean, now we're in a better place, but those people didn't do what was right by New York State. They just, I mean, my mom has, a condo in Florida, and she was already down there when, hey, Jamie's here, Sunny's in the house. So this is what I'm going to do from now on. Morning lives, we're going to talk about the things that matter. Nighttime, it's party time. So we could talk about those things. We could talk about what's going on. We want to talk about what's going on. We want to give people a safe place to talk about it. I don't even care. If you don't like it, lump it. Take it out on the street and dump it. That's what my dad used to say. Yeah. So Cuomo made some mistakes here. He really did. So, while I could say, I don't like this guy, but I don't like this guy either. Why fight about people who don't care about us? But we could talk about the things like, like I said, I've had issues with the police myself. It's not me saying that I don't like police, but I think that there needs to be a change. We need a change. This whole world needs to change. The oceans are going to die. The oceans are dying. By 2030, that's it. If we don't fix our mess, we don't have an ocean anymore. And if the oceans die, well, the human race is gone. We can't thrive without the ocean. We can't live like that. So we need to do better. We need to talk about things to do better. I just read an article today that says that China is boycotting salmon because farm-raised salmon, has been linked to passing coronavirus. I don't eat fish. I don't eat seafood. It's just to me. And what's sad about that is, um, we have the southern resident orcas up in Washington State, BC area, who are starving to death. They're starving to death because people eat the salmon, and so they put these dirty fish net things in the ocean with these salmon that are diseased, and now they have, they may be linked to corona. Oh my gosh. That's a scary thought right there, is that, if these if these farm raised salmon get out into the waters, and these orcas who are already like suffering, from from lack of salmon as is, because there's a lack of salmon. This could actually wipe out that whole population of orcas, because they're saying that this could transfer to them. We've had articles saying that that the corona has transferred to some of the big cats at the Bronx Zoo, and you know that's sad. That's what bothers me in life, is that our actions, some of our human actions, affect those who don't have a voice to say that we don't want this. We don't want to eat Corona salmon. We don't want to we don't want to die because your obsessions with this and this um you know is affecting our life. So this is a pretty brutal thing to think about. And then you have these cats in the Bronx Zoo who didn't have the right to say, I don't want to live here. I don't want to live in a 3 hots and a cot. And then you got the people who, care for them, come in, who may have had it or asymptomatic, and pass it on to these animals, and then they get sick. We don't even, that's another thing with this whole Corona time. That's a big thing on TikTok. They actually have a song that's called Corona Time. Isn't that funny? Now I just want to, excuse me. I'm just putting the thing. Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? I hate the zoo. I mean, if you like the zoo, that's okay. I don't like the zoo. I don't believe in that. I just don't. I feel like we need more like refuges and sanctuaries. I've learned a lot, working with animals, and owning some exotic animals myself, and it's just you got to be careful where you go. I could talk about the zoos on what they do on the side that y'all don't know about too. Like let's San Diego Zoo. You could look it up. The San Diego Zoo has a thing where, if an animal gets really old and not pretty anymore, and they can't reproduce, they will they will sell them to canned hunting facilities. And that's sad too. If you don't know what canned hunting is, and now this is not me going off about hunting for food or anything like that. Canned hunting is when they have them in Africa. If you haven't seen the film called Blood Lions, Leonardo DiCaprio, he directed it. He's got a lot of great films out there that talk about animals. And I think there's a squirrel in my apartment somewhere, I swear. So what canned hunting is, these are these facilities that they have in Africa and probably around the country. I think Matthew McConaughey actually owns a canned hunting facility. So what canned hunting is where they breed the animals. The ones in Africa actually have this whole spiel where they tell college students to come and volunteer there to help raise the lions, thinking that these are lions that they're going to release into the wild, and this and that. But that's not what that is. So what canned hunting is these facilities where they intentionally breed lions, and then Mr. Magoo here can show up and pick which one he likes, and they'll set up this whole hunting experience. So it's not a full, it's not a real trophy hunting thing. It's like a staged one where so they'll let the lion loose to a certain area, and then these people can pay to to go on the hunt, and because this lion looks pretty on the mantle, kind of thing. But they don't eat that. They don't eat that. Nobody eats it. There's been stories out there where the people, where they do these trophy hunting, they claim that it's conservation and it helps the species, and this and that, and a whole bunch of baloney. And it's for sport. That's all it is. And it's sport. sport in quotations, because a sport is a game where two people have, or two opposing sides have equal you know opportunity to win. So, in trophy hunting, they consider it a sport, but the animals don't have, they don't have that option to fight for their life. And, when you do the canned hunting situation, these animals are actually like very domesticated because, like I said, they got people bottle feeding them and hand raising them. So, when it comes to the canned hunting thing, it makes it easier for these people to hunt them. It's not going to be like, Cecil the lion, where, that poor animal lived in a refuge, and they dragged him out from there so they can hunt him legally, but still illegally somewhere else. But something that over the years, working with some groups of, because I run an animal rights page, a lot of the people who they claim that the local folks will eat said trophy hunting meat, but they don't. They consider it bush meat, and they won't eat it. So it's not that at all. I mean, I'm if you want to hunt for food and you use the whole animal, okay. But when you're doing something like this, it's something totally different. And not only that, it's been yeah. No, it goes to the government. That's another thing, is it goes to the government. There was something recently where they were trying to kill off the elephants. There's a surplus. Well, listen, I'm a human being. We're all human beings here. I, for one, don't like the idea of saying that there is an overpopulation of an animal species, because I mean there might be. I mean, but see, there's the thing is, like, while we have people, this is something we need to realize, is that when we hunt the animals like, wolves and coyotes, orcas. Well, we don't hunt orcas, but when orcas are dying off or sharks are getting killed off, these are apex predators. These are animals that don't have some other animal to worry about except for us. We're their number one problem. But when you kill these animals off, then we do have a surplus of deer and other animals, because, those are the animals that take care of the population. People, in my area, we complain about possums, little possums. I know they're a little freaky deaky, these little animals, but they're cute. You know, while we have Monsanto spraying their toxic bug spray everywhere, you know, the you know, um, we have nature that can take care of that. The possums eat ticks and they don't get Lyme disease, so we do need to not put the toxic stuff, because these animals will take care of that. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, right. What are you going to kill a lion for? People aren't going to eat that. I mean, I know like right now we're upset with China because they eat bats. But, don't get me wrong, that bothers me too. I mean, take a look at that photo of that soup. I mean, it was just, I mean, how could, I mean, I was a vegan. I was a vegan, and I was that whole, how could you eat something with a face mentality? I still have that. I still feel bad. Hey, Blaze Radio in the house. Good to see you too. How are things? How is things with the WWE? I know that they're kind of coming back, but not making a comeback and all that stuff. That's another thing we could talk about in a hot minute, is fall TV. Because that's like a hot topic at the moment, is what's going to happen to our fall TV. But yeah, possums are very important. Yeah. Hey, RSDT. Good morning. I know it's been a long time. You know what? Like I said, some lovely folks on YouTube added me on their friends list, and I just don't conform to the right, the left. I'm independent. I don't take sides, and people just think, well, that's the thing, is people automatically assume. They assume. You know what? You know the good old saying about assume? Don't assume, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? Remember that? So people assume because I don't like the left or the right. You don't like the right, then you must love the left. And if you must love the left, then you don't like the right. No. I have friends in politics. I've made friends with senators, and this is not me doing some kind of incognito threat baloney shenanigans. I'm an animal rights activist, so when you work with that, you have to make friends in politics. And actually, I've actually had a lot of great success with some local Republican senators. They actually do like the animals. They do like to fight for the animals. It may sound strange because there's a lot of Republicans who don't. Don't assume that they're all the same either. That's the thing is the local people seem a little more level-headed than the bigger people because, they're not the ones on the television. See, that's the thing, as an animal rights activist, that's something that I never really liked, are the activists who are always on the television. They're the ones who are in it for the wrong reasons. Again, here on YouTube, we can talk about Black Lives Matter because to me it matters. I think they do matter. Um, I'm a parent of biracial children, as in my children are, half Hispanic. So, you know, um, so I, yeah, so, Black lives do matter because what happens, in some point where, I have to deal with that, maybe, because Latino lives matter, Black lives do matter. And there's, we do have the power to talk about these things on YouTube, and we should talk about these things because they do matter. And, that's the thing is they do matter. We have to make sure that they do matter. Um, and I had heard a strange story recently where a girl on TikTok, her mother posted this that she was going to go to a protest, and because she was supporting Black Lives Matter, they took her photos. People in her town were taking photos of her daughter and making publications in newspapers saying that she was, a member of, an organization such as Antifa, and so they were threatening her. Never be afraid to stand up for something. Never ever be afraid to stand up for something, even if you're the only one doing it. That's what I'm going to start doing here on YouTube. We need to talk about the things that matter. We have an opportunity to use this platform for good. Now, but there's another thing is, you know, we have the opportunity to use this platform for good, but don't just do it for likes and popularity and things like that too. This has to come from the heart. It has to come from the heart. It has to come from a place of understanding and meaning, and because that whole the Black Lives Matter movement needs is genuine people who are going to back them up, not just use it for clout. There's some people here on YouTube who go live and they use it for clout. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that's not how this works. We have to be there. We have to be there for these people. It's Pride Month. They need us too. They need allies. These people need genuine allies to speak up for them, because their voice isn't being heard by the people in power. And like I said, it's not just the right, it's the left too. Let's I could talk about, um, here on Long Island and New York, we were supposed to have a vote this year about, the marijuana laws. While that's the thing is, while we're kind of like in an ugly place right now financially here in New York, if they had passed, the marijuana law that, we can, smoke it freely, medicinally and all that stuff, we could have that money pumping into the government, and, we'd be doing quite well for ourselves. But, while our state is predominantly Democrat, we have a lot of Republican senators and assemblymen and things like that. Cuomo is Republic is Democrat, and both Suffolk and Nassau County um, legislators and things like that, they're Democrat. So, but the problem is, when voting for the marijuana law, Long Island was the problem, because the police don't want it. The police don't want it. We have a very large drug rehab program here. They don't want it because what are you going to do with your 16-year-olds, doing that? Parents won't have a way to lock up their children now. Um, and Cuomo, like I said earlier in the live, is he's been looking to sell off our mental health facilities to the highest bidder. We have the hospital grounds in my hometown. They want to put, these luxury stores and that are not going to hire the people in that area because my hometown is a very multicultural area. Even Target now. Target, I actually have questions for you. Um, and I'd like a representative of Target to get in contact with me in regards to this because now, like I said, my hometown is a very multicultural town. My hometown is not where I live now. Where I live now is a very racist, bigoted area, which I can't stand. So yeah. So anywho, so the Target in my hometown, they've been protesting very peacefully over there. No rioting, looting, or any of that. I know some parts of the area, some parts of the world, that's what's going on. But in my hometown, that's not what's going on. So Target took it. They posted this whole spiel on social media. Hey, yes, I am live again, and I will be live again later with Jamie. We'll play games and things like that. So daytime lives are going to be the things that matter. We're going to talk about pop culture and news and things like that. I am doing quite well today, Lewis, and so Target. Y'all posted on social media that you weren't so worried about people destroying your store and looting and things like that because you said it's just stuff and you support the Black Lives Matter community and things like that. But in my hometown, y'all heard we were protesting over there and you boarded it up and closed the store. But you didn't do that in the rest of the Long Island here. So why? What's that all about? Y'all had no faith in the fact that they said it was going to be a peaceful protest? Or y'all racist? Just curious because I just want to know why you did that. Because there was no reason for it. The people in my hometown have been protesting, walking up and down on the sidewalk and nowhere else. They weren't in the street. Like I said earlier, if we can't, people are upset that people are protesting in the middle of the street. But, if you protest on the sidewalk, they're running people over doing that too. So it's like, we got to have a win here somewhere. But Target, I didn't really appreciate that. And not only that, the Target in my hometown, they actually refuse to hire people from my hometown. I'm not kidding. They actually, anyone that I grew up with that works at Target now, they actually have to use somebody else's address to get a job there. I mean, that's pretty messed up, ain't it? So, I'd like a Target representative to get in contact with me, and we could do like a Zoom meeting, and we could do it live. We could talk about it. I'd like to do that. I'd like to know why y'all did that. Why'd you do that? You support Black Lives Matter, but my hometown, y'all boarded up your store and closed it early, and just wondering, you know, just curious why you did that. That's not cool, But see, that's the thing is, we have a hospital ground in my hometown that was, the sanitarium, and they're gonna tear down all those buildings, and they're talking about putting, condos, and some luxury stores, which we know that they're not going to hire the people from my hometown. They're just not going to do that. Target won't even do that. Dollar Tree seems to be okay with that. Target, not so much. I don't know if the people who work in that pet store that I volunteer at are from my hometown. I never really asked, but so that's a problem, So Target, get back to me on that. So we were going to talk about, the fall TV issues, the issues of fall TV. I'm not going to talk about cops and live PD and whether or not I support that or not. I will talk about SVU because that's my show. But I get it. But I get it. I understand why, that could not be a thing anymore. I get it. It's not about being whiny and things like that. But at the same time, we need to realize um, there's not going to be any fall-time TV. There's not going to be any TV shows coming in September unless if these shows were already filmed prior to March. I know that Special Victims Unit is filmed in New York City, and we've been on pause since March, so I can't imagine the fact that they've already filmed the next season. So it's not going to be coming in September anyways, just based on that. Um, Sad, but it's not. It was going to be on pause or canceled anyways, just like most of the shows. Handmaid's Tale, I don't even know if that's been filmed or when they were planning on, bringing that back out. Um, don't know. This Is Us. Me and the other Sunnies were talking about this the other day. Um, the writer of the show has committed suicide, and I think this is an appropriate matter. Is that she was the writer of the show, and because out of respect, they're not going to bring in. They may not bring in another writer, um, which I think makes a lot of sense. Because that show, I mean, that writer, the woman who wrote the show was, I mean, look at that. That show has been consistent and beautiful, and I mean, God bless. This is why we need better mental health care in this country too. We have a really poor mental health care system. I talk about that a lot on my channel. um the fact that my son is yeah, my son is in treatment, and it seems like they throw a lot of medication at these kids. They throw a lot of medication, but not a lot of what do you call it? Cognitive behavior therapy. That's what they need. We need society to be more accepting and kind of people who have mental health issues, and be willing to hire these people in regular jobs. I was in the human services program at my local community college, and I was told by my professor that I could potentially be a great social worker, but because of my past history, I don't even know, she knew my past history, and I'll get to that in a moment, but because of my past history and my the fact that I have mental health issues, I would never be hired as a social worker. So I was basically wasting my time. Fine. I don't want to do that job anyways. Everyone and their mother is trying to be a social worker now, and I'm somebody who just doesn't feel the need or the urge to make money off my friends. I like this idea. See, I like this idea of coming on YouTube and talking to the people like this. I always said when I became famous, I would use my status to talk about, to be a voice for the people who don't have a voice, the animals, the people. So, of course, who wants the fame part where, you got the paparazzi following you everywhere. And, on YouTube, we have the fame where we get the trolls who dox and swat us, But at the same time, while you could dox and swat me all you like, well, don't. This is not an invitation. We could dox and swat people all we like, I'm still going to be that voice. I'm not going to be afraid anymore to come forward and call out injustice. I've been doing, that's funny because I've been doing this. I've been an animal rights activist since I was 16 years old, and I've never been afraid to speak up for the animals. But all of a sudden, now that I have this, and people, with their threats and their actions here on YouTube, it kind of, hey, Wonderfell's life. I've had that feeling of bottling it up and not using this platform appropriately, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to censor myself. I don't believe in censorship. Our lovely, y'all know about, yeah, really. Well, we have what we call here is a peer specialist. So you could be a peer specialist, which, would be just like a few months training, but there are some people that are really not cut out for that. Since we're here, since we're here for, a little update. So I don't know if I talked about this on my channel just yet because I haven't been here very much. Yeah, I just like doing it for free. I like coming on here and doing it. I've been on TikTok a lot lately, because TikTok, is a place where you could talk about Black Lives Matter, and there's a lot of people backing you up, and, you're backing each other up. I don't get trolls over there, although now that I just said I don't get trolls over there, I'm sure I'm gonna get them now. That's fine. It's fine. I don't care. I do believe Black Lives Matter, and I don't believe all lives matter. I believe Black Lives Matter because because if all lives mattered, then they would be included, and they're not. And we need to speak up about this injustice. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. We need to fix the police. And I'm doing well, Wonderfell's life. I just was going to let y'all know the crazy lady upstairs has been removed and she cannot return. I don't know if I told y'all that, but so that's a win. But this whole Corona thing has been rough. It's rough. It's been a terrible journey, but we're New York, our joke here in New York is that we don't have to be number one at everything. And we've been kind of number one with the Corona thing, but we're back down, but we're number one. Yeah. 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 So with the peer specialist thing, I think, well, you know what, just this goes along the lines of the police too, is that, I know some people are saying, oh, don't defund the police, but I don't know if y'all know this, the whole defund the police thing, it's not defunding completely, it's shifting gears, shifting money to other areas that we need, like, the police need units of people who work with mentally ill people. Yeah, they're just jealous. Jealousy is an ugly look and they need to stop wearing it. Um, so it's not defunding the police. It's shifting money. Yeah, she's gone for good because she beat the crap out of the other one and she got a restraining order, so she can't come back here for a while, forever, hopefully. If they bring her back here, I'm moving the hell out of here. But so they want to shift gears. The police need units that deal with mental illness. They need units that deal with domestic violence a little better. They need youth programs. I mean, you can't screen for racism. That's the thing, is I don't think that there's like a psychological exam for racism, but there should be. Maybe somebody who's smart needs to figure this out. They need to come up with some questions. Ooh. Ooh, yay. Yeah, you do need to get the GoPro out. It's going to be a fun summer for the Sunnies, We're going to make a really fun summer here. I'm actually going to start doing new videos. New, not nude. I'm still waking up. So new videos. I am getting a hold of some things from the past. And we're going to do some reminiscing of the 90s, because the 90s is 30 years ago. 30 freaking years ago. So, I am being cautious with Etsy. I know a lot of people like on YouTube are like really big into Etsy. I'm throwing caution to the wind here, because I told y'all about this guy here, this mug. Yeah, this mug here that I bought on Mercari. All right. Oh, the crazy lady from Mercari. She sold it, and the mug went missing, and the fine people of Mercari removed her because she was threatening and harassing the customers, and then she was removed, and then she couldn't do her seller job because she was being, a douche canoe, and all of a sudden the mug did show up, and yeah, it did. It did show up, but that's between you and Mercari at this point. Yeah. Hey, there's some folks on here on YouTube who hunt for morals. Well, you should be yeah. Please get some morals. Morals. Those mushrooms and stuff. Yeah. But we do need some morality here on YouTube. get the clout chasers off of here too, the ones who want to use people's misfortune and mishappens and things for likes and views and things like that. If you're going to do that and not speak out on the topic at hand, fine. I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to give Etsy, Mercari, I'm done. I'm not doing it because now this crazy lady, she's sending me letters in the mail requesting a check. But the thing is, you can't do that either. That's against the rules. And Mercari gave this person my address so she's able to contact me outside, and that's not okay. And I actually deleted my Mercari. So Etsy, I'm giving it a whirl and a twirl, just a little bit. Yeah. I hope they're good about that. That's what I'm afraid of with Mercari is that, Etsy, is that there's some good, you know, buyer protection. I've never had that happen to me before in the past with Etsy, but it seems like they have a lot of 90s goodies there. So I'm trying to get some of those things. So we moved into phase 2 here in Suffolk County. That's my county, that's not my town. If y'all looking to harass. So we moved into phase 2, and Savers and the other thrift stores have opened. So I plan on doing getting some looks, maybe take some celebrities and see what they wore back then and see if we could recreate that. I found on eBay and Etsy, there's a lot of people out there who sell their grandma's handwritten recipe cards. I do want to buy those, and I want to cook some of those things on my channel. I know I said I didn't want to do cooking videos, but I kind of do, just because I want to take this channel back. I want to have these live chats where we could talk about the current events and things like that, but I want to go back to a simpler time and do those things. Yep. Oh, cool, Poochie. I want to talk about those things. I want to talk about what we did in the 90s, and I'm going to get some. I'm waiting for, I ordered a 90s trivia game, so that'll come in soon. I ordered some of those the butterfly clips that we used to do our hair with, the little ones that you used to do your hair like that. And you can't have the 90s without those plastic mesh chokers and things like that. So yeah, so back to the SVU conversation. I know I'm jumping from place to place because I have like 1,000,001 things that I wanted to bring up on my channel, which I'm probably getting a bazillion thumbs down about, but that's okay. So SVU. So, like I said earlier, the fall TV's canceled just based on the fact that they couldn't film anything. Things couldn't be filmed. Because SVU, they filmed that in New York City. New York City is only on phase 1 as of Monday, and Cuomo is already, threatening to move them back to, phase 0 because they're not listening over there once again. And that's got nothing to do with the protesting. That has nothing to do with the protesting. What he's referencing to is the fact that people are still gathering outside of, businesses and doing that. He's also talking about putting the Hamptons on phase 0 because, they got the beaches reopened. Now, the Hamptons are not allowing people from outside their area to come to their beaches, whatevs. Which is fine because when Mayor de Blasio, he's not reopening the beaches in New York City for whatever reason. They can't. They really kind of can't. It's kind of like Corona soup at that rate. It's hard to do that. So he's not, they're not opening the beaches and the pools over there. But the problem is, because they're not opening the beaches and the pools over there, we are, and we're coming to the point where, those people kind of, we really, it's one of those things. So, so in regards to SVU, they can't film SVU right now because New York City is closed. Hollywood is closed. So like I said, we're not getting any fall TV. We're just not, it's not in the cards. We're not doing it right now. So, it's on pause anyways. So it's not even a matter of being one of those things where shutting it down because it's a police show. It's being shut down because it just can't be filmed. And whether or not it should be shut down due to all the other police shows being shut down, I'm 50-50 on this, but I'm not somebody who has the right or the knowledge to really say whether or not it's appropriate to bring it back or not. However, hear me out on this, is that SVU has tackled those topics. They have tackled Black Lives Matter and corrupt police officers and things like that. So, you know, this is a show that has used their platform to discuss those issues, and I think that they could still do that. You know, I mean, knowing, how that show has been run over the years, I would imagine that, they're already thinking about, how they could use this show for good, as in speaking up for Black Lives Matter and corrupt police officers and things like that. That show does do those things. They do bring up those things. So, and I mean, me as a domestic violence survivor, I've learned a lot from watching that show. I've learned a lot about laws and ways to protect myself and um, things like that. And the woman Mariska Hargitay, sorry, sweetheart, if I didn't say your name right just now. I'm still waking up. But Mariska, she actually has helped a lot of women, a lot of sex crime victims out there get help. There's a whole documentary on that. She actually gets letters all the time from sex abuse victims, telling her their stories and things like that. So, I feel like, again, it's not my place to say whether or not the show is politically correct and should continue on. But I think, if anything, we should use that platform to discuss these things and bring it to the light. I mean, who knows? Just maybe they'll do an episode on George Floyd or Breonna those stories, Breonna Taylor and all those stories need to come to the light. Maybe SVU will tackle that. We need to say those names. So let's say it: George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Philando Castile. We got to do better here. We have to do better. It's amazing. We went from a time where, videos of Karens on Facebook were maybe once a week, once every other week. But now it's like it's once every 5 minutes. There's a new Karen out there. Like, you don't want people saying that they're offended by today Quaker Oats is changing the they're going to change the Aunt Jemima. Okay, well, it's their business. They own it, and they want to get with the times, and they want to change Aunt Jemima from being Aunt Jemima to whatever it is that they're changing it to. I don't know. I didn't read the full article, but it's their business. They own it. They have a right to come into 2020 and be politically correct. And I mean, it doesn't change the maple syrup that's in there. I mean, it's not really maple syrup anyways. It's cornstarch and a bunch of other garbage. But hey, listen, if they want to take their company and bring it into the 2020 era and do that, okay, it's their business. They have a right to do that. I can't believe how many people are complaining about this. They have a right to change. We got the people on Facebook who are crying about their cop shows being taken away. But y'all better not make one peep about SpongeBob. SpongeBob's gay, and I like it. I don't like SpongeBob. I still find him to be annoying, but but that's pretty awesome that they're bringing that forward. And Sesame Street is standing with the LGBTQ community. That's awesome. Disney kind of has and kind of hasn't. I don't know. So, we got people out there who are saying we don't have a right to say what's offending others. But yet we got these Karens. Yeah, I kind of figured he kind of seems like he's gay. I mean, well, hold on. That was very not politically correct of me to say, but, he was kind of flamboyant. He kind of he kind of had that feeling, you know. I don't know. I always got that, you know, feeling off of him, that he was, you know, gay. But I like that. That's awesome. Go Nickelodeon for doing that. I don't know what to say about, you know, I'm not going to talk about, you know, see, that's awesome. So Nickelodeon saying that SpongeBob is gay, and they're also looking to, yeah, yeah. I've never really been a fan of his show, but you know, I'm not a kid. He came out, you know, when I was too old to really care. So, I mean, I grew up on the Rugrats and Doug and things like that. I don't know what to say about, Paw Patrol. If they wanna change Paw Patrol to whatever, whatever. It's a kid show. You know, let the kids decide whether or not they like it. You know, but you know that's another. But see, there's another thing. Is there was a photo recently of a little boy, um, protesting outside his on his corner there, for Black Lives Matter. And oh man, people are just so offended by this. Oh, let your child be a child and don't feel things in their head. What? Don't feel things in their head. So if you don't want to feel in their heads that Black Lives Matter, then you want to fill them in the head that what we're still doing is okay, because it's not. I could tell you, me as a parent of a child who's biracial in a town where people are really nasty and racist, I'm afraid to send my kid to school in September. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm hoping they keep virtual learning for a little while longer because I'm afraid for my kid's safety. You know, I am. I am. Oh man, I am. I'm afraid of these kids that my daughter is friends with. I really am. I mean, she thinks, you know, I know she's probably listening, but she thinks that these kids are her friends. And then, you know, when it comes down to life, you know, she's got one friend that likes to copy her homework and her tests. But, you know what's going to happen there is, you know, usually when that happens, both kids get in trouble, but all they're going to do is see her last name, Gonzalez, and they're like, sure, Gonzalez. She's copying off of you, right? That's what it's going to be like, and that's what I'm trying to explain to her is that, you know, we live in a town that's how people are. When I first moved in, first of all, I didn't choose to move here. I still choose to not want to live here, but because of Corona, I couldn't move. I wasn't allowed to move from here, and you know, that's the unfortunate part. I'd rather move to a town where, you know, I don't have to worry about being accepted or my kids being accepted. But unfortunately, you know, the choice was made for us thanks to Miss Corona. She ain't minding her business, Miss Rona. She don't want to mind her business. I feel like Corona's going to be around for a while too. We're gonna be dealing with this for a really long time. And if you come on my chat, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's hard. You know, I've had people say things to me in this town. Um, when I first moved in here, I moved in here just before Trump was elected. Okay. Um, so it was during the time of the election, and just before he was elected, I actually had nationalists in my door. The person who used to live here was African American. I'm not sure why they were coming. I don't know if they were coming to do damage to him or not. I have no idea. But I was the one who was living here at the time, and they basically said, because I live in a housing agency for handicapped people, and they came to my door and they said, um, we know you're about your housing agency and y'all are a bunch of freeloaders, and we better find out that you have a job or we're gonna get you one. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, really. You know, whatever. And then the morning after, you know, Trump was elected, I kept my daughter home from school. I have to be honest, I kept her home. I said, I just don't feel comfortable with you going and hearing about this. I didn't want her there for the day of his inauguration either because, you know, but whatever. So the morning of, you know, Trump being elected, you know, November 10th, you know, 2016, is a day like we'll never remember. We'll never forget. So November 16th, oh, oh, I had gone to 7-Eleven, and see, this is the thing. I just saw a video of a woman going to a 7-Eleven and saying something. You know, that's the thing, is that these people, they want to go into 7-Eleven, expect service with the smile, and but yet they want to say these things. Okay, so that morning I went to go get my cup of coffee and, you know, whatever snack I was getting at the time, and this guy comes in. He says, I really love your coffee. When are you going back to your country? Yo, first of all, let me explain life to y'all, for the people in the back that don't know. Muslim is a religion. It is not a race. So they can live anywhere in the world. There's no country for Muslims, because it's not a race. It's a religion. It's a faith. Like, I'm a pagan. Are you going to tell me to go back to my country, whatever that is, which would be Ireland, I guess? Fine, so be it. I'll gladly go back over there. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Whatever. But you know what I'm saying? You know, there was just a video recently where the woman was buying her, yeah, right. You know, there was a video recently of a woman who went to a 7-Eleven, and she asked them what country they're from. Come on, man. Again, and I don't know if those guys, I don't know if they were, you know, I don't know if the people who were ringing up were Muslim, but, you know, Muslim is not a, it's Arab. Arab is a race. No, actually, no, it's not. Arabic is a language. It's not a, you know, whatever it is. But regardless, they have a right to be here just as much as everybody else. You know, Muslim is a religion. It's not a race. So you can't tell somebody who's Muslim to go back to their country, because they don't have one. Hi, Marie. How are you? I'm good. So yeah, so that's, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you go, you know, if you want to say things like that, I kind of wondered, do you think that 7-Eleven, has a, I kind of wondered, do you think 7-Eleven has a list of racist people they don't want in their store anymore, so the other 7-Elevens don't have to let them in? Kind of should, right? I mean, why should they have, so why should they have to, you know, accept that level of abuse? Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to live with that, you know? It's not right, you know? So you just want service with a smile, and these and the right to say whatever you want to people. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. It just doesn't work that way. You know, I've had many friends over the years of different faiths and race and things like that. I mean, you know, Jane Elliott. I think y'all need to look her up, because I actually learned about Jane Elliott in college, um, when I had my diversity lessons in the human services program, and she is an awesome lady. You know what she did? She was a teacher in the 50s and the 60s there, and she did this, was it the blue eye and the brown eyed lesson? That was amazing. I mean, she could have gotten a lot of trouble back then for doing that, but she didn't care. She went ahead and did it. She went ahead and taught these kids, you know, about diversity and how it works. And I commend her for that. And the one thing that she says, that there is no multiple races. There's one race, and it's the human race. I mean, yeah, but you know, but she's awesome. This woman, I mean, she's still going. I mean, how old is she? She's got to be in her 80s or 90s, you know, Jane Elliott, and she's still promoting, you know, all that stuff. She did a class, you know, where she told people to stand up if they wanted to be treated the same as a black person, and someone stood up, like, you know, but you don't get it. You don't get it. So how are you going to stand up if you don't get it, you know? Ugh. 2020, you really are a biatch, and you know, but you know what though, you know, the one thing that 2020 has taught me is that, you know, unfortunately, it's taught me who your real friends are and who you don't want on in your camp. I mean, unfortunately, you know, with you know, the Democrats and the Republicans, you know, it's still a lesson that, you know, you really can't. I guess you really kind of can't, you know, be friends with either side. You know, I'm an independent. I don't take sides, And that got me in a lot of trouble in 2016 because I'm sorry, I couldn't vote for Hillary. I voted for my friend. You can look him up. He's absolutely amazing. His name is Clifton Roberts. And his VP, yay, Poochie's back. Clifton Roberts is a friend of mine, and he's the Humane Party candidate. His VP choice is she's absolutely gorgeous. Her name is Dr. Amy Breeze Harper. I don't believe, I'm not 100% certain that they will be running in 2020. Unfortunately, there's been no mention of a independent third party candidate this go round, which is the unfortunate scenario because we literally have to pick one or the other. So I hate that. I don't like that. We don't have good choices. Can you imagine this? We have how many millions of people in this country and we're down to this again? But anywho, so yeah. So there's no third party candidates that we've heard of. I don't know if he's running, but Clifton Roberts is a dear friend of mine, and I voted for him last time. There was actually a big surge of third party votes last time, and I actually thought that was, no, did it help? No. Hey, Matthew. The one thing that I think that is a positive sign where so many people are willing to vote for a third party candidate because it says to the government that we're tired of the two party broken system and we need other choices. We need more choices. We need more than the left and the right because it's just not working anymore. It's just not. We need something else. So, I don't know if Clifton is voting. I'm sure he is voting. I don't know if he is running this go round. I don't know about Jill Stein. I'm not really a fan of Jill Stein, but honestly, when I registered to vote, back in 2004, 2003, 2004, probably not. Unless if they were wet first. Maybe they were wet, and then you want to dry out the stinky smell and then wash them. You could do it that way too. It's hard to wash wet clothes. That's another thing is I guess you kind of do. I guess if you spill something, it's better to dry them out. So this is something I want to bring onto my channel. I know me and Jamie were talking about this last night. We're talking about Dear Abby. You remember Dear Abby? Ann Landers was one too. Dear Abby, Ann Landers. So I want to bring that to my channel. If you follow me on Instagram, I don't know if we could drop the link for the new Sunny's Instagram. I will make maybe I'll make a video about that later, so y'all can check the new Sunny's Instagram. We're gonna be moving and doing bigger and better things. We got new Sunnies. We have a new person. She's awesome. Midnight Cool. You're gonna really love her. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Midnight Cool! Yay! Happy birthday! We're going to be doing a lot of collabing, a lot of videos. We're going to be bringing our live crawls back. I ordered some new games. Like I said earlier, I'm talking about doing some new things on my channel. I want to... you could wash your clothes at a hotel. You could. We do that sometimes, because it's easier to bring clean clothes back than dirty clothes. And if a hotel offers some kind of wash service, it's better to take it. However, depending on how clean that hotel was that I went to, I would wash before I leave, and I would wash when I come home because I am deathly afraid of bed bugs. I've had the unfortunate experience of bed bugs twice in my life, and third time will not be a charm. I don't ever want to see that again in my life. No, no, no. And hotels can be bed bug city. So yeah. So for me, I would wash my clothes before I left and when I got home, just to avoid that. So that's we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff. We're gonna be getting some more Dollar Tree collabs. We're gonna, like I said, me and Jamie were talking about reading some Dear Abby and Ann Landers type things on our live streams, which will be cool. And you could message us on Facebook, Instagram, and send us some questions, and maybe we can give you some advice. I mean, it may not, it'll be our advice. I mean, advice is, just as good as if you take it and you don't take it. But I think that'll be a really cool addition to our, our live streams, is to, do Ann Landers, Dear Abby type stuff. There is actually a website that I find, I'll give it to Jamie later, where they actually have archives. What happens if you don't wash your clothes? They'll be dirty. Yeah, and stinky and smelly. So, that could be a new thing to our lives. We're going to play games. I ordered a 90s trivia card game. I ordered this book, and I had it years ago, and I guess I must have donated it. It's a book called Why Do Men Have Nipples? And so this book is like it's a book of like weird facts, and we're going to talk about those things on lives. We're going to do, like I said, I want to revamp my lives. I want daytime lives to be about pop culture and the news and things like that. Yeah, yeah. I ordered that game. I do have a new Would You Rather game. I actually bought this book here. We'll have this for later, I think, because I think we're going to do a game night later. Don't quote me on that, because sometimes things happen. But we do have that. And I'm looking to get some 90s stuff off of Etsy. Hopefully Etsy doesn't screw me up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get some. I bought a book. Do you all remember The Onion, the Daily Onion newspaper? Yeah. I ordered their book on eBay. So we're going to have that on my channel. We can, The Onion is, first of all, before anybody goes there, The Onion is a satire newspaper, which was always funny. I loved it. They actually have a book. I'm getting it. So we're going to get books like that where we can just joke around about weird facts or satire even. I'm trying to get my hands on old National Enquirers and Cosmos, but these things are very expensive. People actually sell them for oodles of cash because, apparently people still want them. So, I mean, I do have a Cosmo, which I could use for later too. It's my last one from this year's subscription. I may get them again. I don't know. But I definitely want to reminisce about the 90s, possibly the 80s, something that's big on TikTok. If you don't know, I'm on TikTok. Miss Kelly Coffee Queen 85. I am on there. I do post multiple times a day. I just hit 2,500 followers on there this week. I'm booming big time over there. I can go live. I can go live on TikTok. I may try to do that soon because I have a lot of really great followers on there, and I'd really like them to come over here because, we all went to Grow Streams. We all went to those things, and we picked up people that, like I said earlier in the live, these are people I normally wouldn't talk to on the outside, but there's some great people like Wonderfowl's Life who I would totally chill with. Miss Dee Dee, I would totally chill out with Miss Dee Dee. Matthew Coombs, I would totally chill out with Matthew Coombs and Poochie and Jamie and things like, and people like that. So, so I definitely, see the way they do TikTok is they suggest your content to people who have similar likes. Yeah, I actually, and for those who want to say I might be doing it because you're doing it, no. First of all, no. I've been on TikTok longer than TikTok was TikTok. TikTok used to be Musical.ly, and I was on there. I actually started TikTok seriously same time as I started doing YouTube, but I started when they took away the Nanny Boo Boo filter, I stopped doing it over there. They brought her back so I can go and do that. She's a very popular filter, but she is over there. I can't always post her over here. I'm trying to do more. I do post what I can from over there over here. It's hard because TikTok doesn't have a copyright rule. Everything is there for you. You have your filters, you have your copyrighted music there that you can use, no problem. So, it's hard to post those videos here. There was the lady who was eating Geoducks. That's what they said they're called, Geoducks, not geoducks. I thought it was geoduck, like as in geoduck from, isn't there a geoduck? Oh, isn't that creepy? There's actually a geoduck in Pokemon. That's that little yellow guy with the put the hands on the head because he always has headaches. Huh. That's a little creepy now. But, you know, unfortunately, she has made it so people can't react or duet her newer videos. So, gee, thanks. So, we'll have to figure that out. I may have to do that to her with her older videos if she doesn't, you know, block that out. Unfortunately, because she's from an Asian country, people are probably being mean, rude, and nasty, which is not what I'm doing. I'm just making light of what, you know, what she does there. It's like, well, what? You smack this thing? Does that affect the taste? She was eating sea urchins. I'm like, well, how do you eat a sea urchin? I can't imagine there being much meat on a sea urchin because it's all those spiky things. You know, that's my thing. And I was a vegan. I'm still an animal rights activist. I still talk about that, you know, the marine parks and things like that. So, you know, so I have been here for 80 minutes and I'm going to go clean my apartment. I have to get out of my depression funk and get back into business. That's one thing with this whole corona time is that it affects your will to do things. And apparently I still can't find my keys. So, it's kind of like Dude, Where's My Car, but Dude, Where's My Keys? So I will see y'all later. We're going to have game night. I do have this new Would You Rather game, and I'm sure Jamie's going to be back later too. So I'll see y'all later. Thank you for coming by. I'm sure I have 30 thumbs down, but y'all can't see, so I don't know why you bother. But remember, kindness is free. Spread that, but don't spread cooties, so do what you got to do to keep the cootie count down. I'll see y'all later.